Let's join producer Carole Hallandbaek and learn more about the family component used at Hyde High School in Bath.
I guess I got out of stereotyping people.
I think my destiny is to be a leader.
And we come together as one.
You who are on the road must have a code that you can live by.
Each of us has a purpose in life, a destiny that's uniquely ours, and we need to develop our character in order to connect with that destiny.
We believe that if you focus on character, if you help a kid tap into what really motivates them, they're going to succeed.
Of tender years, can't know the fears that your elders grew by.
I had a crisis of conscience on a New Year's Eve in 1962 when I got off by myself and realized I was part of an educational system that was failing American kids. In my calculus class, I had this 14-year-old genius, lazy, self-centered. I was trying to tell him he knew less about himself and life than any kid I'd ever taught, and I'm giving him my highest grade. Same class. I've got this discouraged Vermont farm boy who says to me, "Mr. Gall, I work twice as hard as everybody else and get half as much out of it." And I'm trying to tell him, he wants to be an engineer, and I'm trying to tell him his character and determination will someday maybe make him the best engineer in the class, and I'm giving him my lowest grade. And it's not surprising that years later when I checked on this, the first, although he graduated from MIT with an A average at 18, had been unemployed for 11 years. The second one had become a nationally recognized engineer.
And so Hyde School became his expression of an attempt to try to do it another way. I think when he started off, he had a better idea of what he didn't like than what he wanted to do.
And I started with the idea that two things. First of all, character development, because I knew if you could do that, you'd really help kids in life. Courage, integrity, concern, curiosity, and leadership. And the other thing was the idea that each of us has a unique purpose, a unique potential, and that the job of the school was to develop those things.
But the kids that really seem to get this program, to get the concept, to really believe in it, their parents seem to also get into it.
If I was seriously going to help kids prepare for life, I had to begin with parents and family. And once we started the program, we began to realize these parents have never been helped to develop their character, their vision in life. The key questions: who am I? Where am I going with my life? What do I need to get there? So here we are. We're dealing with these parents who are a lot older and helping them answer those questions with the full confidence that if we can do that, their kids are going to get this concept.
The parenting program is a clear expectation at the outset. We talk about it at the admissions interview, that it's not a voluntary activity, it's a required activity.
The students here, as well as in the family program, the parents are not allowed to stay in the comfort zone where you do what you do best. You have to get out of that.
I've taken the wisdom from our Hyde program, we've encapsulated it into 10 priorities.
Truth.
Truth over harmony. Taking hold, letting go. When do you step in and make something happen? When do you close your mouth? Principles over rules.
Our house was so full of rules that no one could keep them straight, including us.
Attitude over aptitude.
We take the focus here off the end result of achievement and put it more on what are you doing to get that achievement.
The best way for us to live our lives is through a set of principles that we all believe in, that the family believes in. Family principles.
Don't look down.
And don't think now walk back.
Walk towards the tree.
Walk towards the tree and onto the platform. There you go. Yes!
We found when put in a situation to take risks, you learn something about yourself. Positive or negative, you learn something about yourself.
Leon, Megan.
Purpose is really, to challenge ourselves and to you know, to make ourselves uncomfortable. And by going through something like this, I learned about myself that, you know, that I have some fears and that I can, you know, what I really need to do is just face those fears.
Most of our kids, whether they're our children or our students, they don't see us in those positions. As adults, they see us in our capable, confident positions.
Andrew, I want to just come down. I'll try it again, I promise. I am a different kind of learner.
They see you up on the ropes course, and that same thing happened to me when I first did that ropes course, where I flipped out. My attitude popped.
You can't, though. We have you up there. You need to finish.
So I stood up there for about 2 hours complaining, and I cried, and I told them to call my mom, and we'll sue you, and everything, and they wouldn't let me down. So they were waiting for me to have the courage to go on.
With my mom, it was a lot. I really got to see her struggle, and she's a real strong, independent woman, and seeing her do something that she's not as good at, and I haven't seen her do a lot of physical things growing up. She's been more the typical mother, you know, strong individual, and it was good to see her have a hard time. Kind of let me know she's more of a person.
Teach your parents well, their children's hell.
What you saw in that ropes course happens really throughout the day in different little experiences where you have to get into a discomfort zone. And the kids see that and they respect it. If you want to reach the deeper part of kids, you've got to get to their parents, because that unlocks their destiny.
Certainly none of the other schools that we had checked into had a family component at all, much less one that was something that you're expected to do, that it is compulsory.
If you really want to teach your kids and influence your kids, you got to change yourself.
I think it was his senior year, fall of it, and we had a time where we had a family solo, and we just sat and talked about how he felt. He resented me as a parent as much as I almost resented him as a child sometimes, because he was had great energy, but it was draining, and I think I quit on him. So that was the blossoming moment, I think, for us as a family, for him to have the courage to say that to me, and for me to have the humility to listen to that and really understand it, because it was true.
The kids had to write a letter to someone. And while sitting around listening to the other kids read their letters, who they wrote, most of them, 90% of them were to their parents. And I'm sitting back going, when it gets to Angela's turn, her letter will be about her father. You know, because I knew she was angry about him, not about the divorce and all. I said, oh, it'll be about her father. But to my surprise, the letter was about me. My 14-year-old daughter had read on 2 pages of paper my whole life, things that I had no idea she knew. And at that moment, before she can even finish, I became very sad. And I just sat there, started to cry. But I knew in my heart that everything that she was reading was the truth. It was the truth, and I knew right then and there I needed to change my life.
If you want a lot, if you have high expectations, you're going to have joyous times and you're going to have struggles. And the important thing is not to try to look great. Exceptional parenting does not mean you do great things. Exceptional parents are people who get way off track, who go to the depths and find the courage to move forward.